It's all set up. Hopefully he'll get some ball tonight, Gorg, or Gorges. And he's certainly got a big forward back in front, and Toulouse have come here with a 6-2 split on the bench. So they are really going to be looking to muscle up in that forward exchange.
How excited were you when you knew that you were going to make your debut the next day as a pro?
Well, you know, it was pretty nerve-wracking. You know, it was something that happened a little bit quicker than I'd expected, but I was very, very lucky with my first game for Canterbury in New Zealand. We played down at Ashburton. I had a lot of senior players around me. I didn't mean to run the first 7 times I touched the ball, but nobody saw me as a threat and ran off, and I guess a little bit of fear and a little bit of excitement, it just made me trying to jump through gaps. And I think once you get a taste for it, you know, all these players love this occasion. They love being out in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people. They love strutting their stuff, playing a sport that they love and doing it in the bright lights.
This is a wonderful stadium, Stade Marcel Michelin. It's got many memories here, you know, right in the top 14, but also in Europe. I think that, you know, anybody who gets the chance to come down to Clermont and you get to experience this experience, you will not regret it, because it's a rugby city. It's vibrant, it's connected to rugby. They love their rugby. They got a statue of Aurélien Rougerie just outside of this wonderful setup, of course, and everybody who knows anything about rugby will know that, you know, you come down here to this cauldron and you play against Clermont. It's a magical experience, and you'll take that away and tell the story. And, you know, and you also eat well down here. You know, they love their food in this part of the world, and the countryside and the ski resorts around here is something special. Wonderful place to be. But will it be a wonderful place for Toulouse tonight? And I think that's the big question. Ugo Mola knows that, well, it could end in disaster. It could be something great. Between them, they played 34 times, 16 wins for Clermont, 1 draw, and 17 wins for Toulouse. And the last encounter back in November the 25th, it was Toulouse who were victorious down at Ernest Val on 31-10. We have to go back to the 1st of January 2022, which was the last victory for Clermont, 16-13 in this very, very same citadel. Teams coming out onto the pitch, and the players getting ready to engage in battle. Clermont up against Toulouse for this, well, hopefully it's going to be a riveting encounter. Lots of quality players, but players that might not be the first choice players for Ugo Mola. But who are the first choice players for Ugo Mola?
Yes, well, there's one of them there. I mean, these guys have got a limited chance while so many players are away with the internationals. Paul Cost, there's been a lot of very positive raps on him, and rightly so. Very intelligent centre, very much in the Conrad Smith kind of a mould. Early days to be saying something like that, of course, but that's sort of an intelligent centre. And the battle of the centres will be really important tonight. The quality of the ball, the go forward that they can get, but the quality of the ball they can deliver to their outsides. Moala and Fuisak for Clermont, the home combination up against Barassi and Cost. You said it, Robbie, it's a positive environment here, positive team play from Clermont, but the supporters, they love rugby. Yes, they'll get and support their team, but they also respect good play, even from an opposition side.
Jonathan Gaznier is the man with the whistle, and Christophe Berros is the TMO tonight. Wonderful images here to cap off round 16 of the top 14. And Benjamin de Payette will get this game underway for the Yellow Army of Clermont. Toulouse picking up possession and just taking it out of their own at 22. And a good chance for Baptiste Germain, wearing the number 9. He's worn the number 10 shirt as well for Toulouse this season. High ball kicked up into the air. I'm a big fan of Baptiste Delguy. It's a really good, tall, lanky runner, very difficult to bring down as the ball's taken forward by Fangar. And de Payette just off the outside of the right boot, just swirling up, and picked up and taken forward there by that man, Pierre Fuisak, the former Toulousain. Charge into traffic coming from Georgia Beria. Bézier de Payette. Good hands if they can keep this going. Fritz Lee on the outside. It's a good tackle from Kost. He might not be the tallest and most burliest of players, but I can tell you that he does make sure that he nails his man. Thomas Lavanini, Argentinian international. Sebastian Bézi, another former Toulousain, spent 8 seasons playing for down in the Garonne. Picked up well. Clermont moving into position. At Abayate with that kick, it's chipped over the top. It's nice and sneaky. Oh, it's taken a wicked bounce. Who's going to get it? Picked up there by Calvin Gorg, but he's been hit hard by the yellow cavalry who've arrived in position. This is nicely done. Little chip over the top. That wasn't a great kick. The bounce is not perfect, but Costas tries to put it on the ground and pick it back up. They're a metre out, Toulouse. Well, very much on their own battle lines and trying to clear the ball here with Baptiste Germain. Oh, there's a chance here. It's been grounded. And we'll have a scrum 5. Couldn't get the ball away, mates, and a little bit of a pressure cooker situation for Toulouse there.
Yes, Clermont putting pressure on around the ruck there, but they made their way down this end through the use of 2 or 3 different kicks. They put up a high ball, they put good pressure on, and a couple of little chip kicks through, which importantly found grass.
And there it is, picked up by Benjamin Adebaeta, gets the ball out, and Fritz Lee will just watch until he starts to, pump those pistons. Goes into the tackle zone. Brennan not getting out, but finally makes a move. Picelli Yato, very strong player. That didn't look like that was straight. It looked like it was a little bit forward, but referee not reacting from that. Bautista Delgui played for Perpignan and Union Bordeaux-Bègles. There's another little short pass there from Erda Payeto. He comes in. That's good work at the breakdown, but I'm afraid that the ruck was fawned. Fasaleli left out and pinged by the referee. Beria. Nicely done to take the ball forward. That was very smart play there from Raka. They're keeping the ball alive. Now they've got a good attacking option. They can get the ball out. I don't know what he was doing there, but George Moal is still going. Puts the ball on the ground, picks it up, goes again. Sebastian Bézi. This is very quick. Stop-start activity here from Clermont, which is very smart. They're just clicking into gear. More players arriving. Lavanini this time. Use some of the big guys. Over Jovan Beria. Into the hands of Kramer. Lavanini. These guys are super strong. Of course, the Argentinian forwards, the locks. Ball comes back as a very quick ball. He gets hit very quickly and it spills out of his hands. It went forward. Delgui can't do anything with that, and it will be a scrum for Toulouse.
Clermont questioning whether that actually came off the boot of Delgui. Certainly seemed like they had a bit of a case there. Putting a lot of pressure on the Toulouse defensive line, moving the ball around a lot, support play, numerous runners. Unable to crack the Toulouse defence yet. They've got to keep throwing the punches. Toulouse really had the knack, and you saw that in the middle of the field there. They have the knack of identifying when it's time to just hold off on defence, not come up so quickly, just manage the ball movement across when they're down on numbers, or when they have a numerical advantage on defence, to get up quickly and make the tackles behind the advantage line, behind the contact line.
It's something that you actually work on in training, isn't it? Just understanding with your defence coach, and just how, what time, when, and all the rest. All these questions need to be answered, and you need to have different options so that you can understand exactly how things function properly.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one thing doing drills and training when it's, you know, a pretty sterile environment. Hey, guys, we're going to do the defensive drills now. But suddenly changing on the field in a game situation from attack to defence, it's a lot more fluid. You've got players all over the show, and they've got to communicate to one another, get themselves in a line together, and then make the collective decision on whether to go up quickly or not. And so, yes, you can do all the drills in the world, but the proof really is in the game. George Moala, good touch before that he had, a little pick and go, showing his acceleration.
Oh, he's just a brilliant player, isn't he? And at 33 years of age, 6th season playing for Clermont and very much a very important member of that team. And, you know, to push themselves up to 8th position is not bad. They'll want to go a little bit further as this scrum collapses before we even get the chance to see the ball get fed into it.
When you look through the team, you'd be forgiven for wondering why they are so supposedly low on the table. I mean, by their standards, they are pretty low. They've got plenty of internationals throughout. You know, Falau Fainga'a, the former Wallaby at hooker. He's throwing to another former Wallaby, Rob Simmons, in the line out. The locks, I mean, it's the United Nations of locks. Lavanini and Simmons. Fa'asalele from Toulouse, and you saw Richie Arnold sitting there on the bench waiting to make his entry at some point.
Oh, no, I mean, outstanding. Some, you know, world-class locks, there's no doubt about it. Let's just see how this scrum stays up. We're deep in territory, in Toulouse territory. Germain puts it in. It's a penalty for Toulouse, and they've just been carted around, just angling in a little bit just to... well, it's one method to try and get the better of your opposite numbers, of course, but the moment that you do have force coming from the second row and the back row to the two props, they angle in and then it just wheels around, is when the referee will pick up on that quite quickly. It's normally the body position of those players in the second and third row. As soon as it shifts, and you can see that there's the angle that goes in and it makes it all completely lopsided.
Well, almost all of us, I'd say 99% of us, are laymen when it comes to knowing about the scrum, and that's including the refs. You don't find many former front rowers or former scrummagers refereeing, so there's a lot of guesswork involved.
Nicely done from Brennan, and there's a little dinky chip over the top there from Kuzmalia. Nicely picked up at the back by Alex Newsom, the 29-year-old, the former Waratahs player, of course, the Australian. He's been a wonderful acquisition for Clermont since he arrived. Toulouse with a little bit of counter-rucking. They're trying to get hold of the ball. It doesn't happen. Watch out for Bezzi. Bezzi does well. Pato, Pacelli-Yato picking it up, of course. And Toulouse get hold of possession. Joshua Brennan going straight down the middle. Unable to find a way through. Baptiste Germain just bringing in some of the big forwards. A bit of a wild pass is Costas in there, just trying to find a little bit of space. That will be a penalty there. Just got caught a little bit, you know, which way to go. The moment that you get snagged in the midfield is the moment that you get big boys like Fritz Lee coming your way.
Yeah, and that's the reason why both these teams are teams that you know are going to probably score a fair few points against you. Particularly the last couple of weeks, Toulouse has scored an absolute packet through their last two matches at home. But you also know there are opportunities like this when they do kind of lose connection with one another, and the ball pops out, and maybe there are opportunities to attack back as well.
Well, ball stays in play, has been picked up here and taken forward there. That's Gorg, who's trying to find a little gap in the defence. Carried forward there by Castro Ferreira. Costas gets the ball out. It's just a little bit too high. Well, it's Barassi who flings the ball back, of course, and holds up his hands to apologise. That's really not a good kick, is it, from Eder Payeta? That's probably the worst kick that I've seen him kick in a very long time. And he is a wonderful maestro when it comes to connecting with the ball.
It does happen. I mean, if they have a win, he'll be laughing about it on Monday, but not at the moment.
Eder Payeta, winner of the top cattles with Cast. That's good work at the breakdown, but no jackal and no penalty. Here he goes again. That's ever dangerous Pacelli-Yato. 129th match playing for Clermont. Nicely done, getting Raka out with the ball out wide. Kramer, Eder Payeta, the Argentinian connection. Well, he just drops it into the box, but he's absolutely caught up in a big way. Well, Matis Castro Ferreira, good chance once again. He's very mobile, isn't he, Yato, at the moment? And Delgui getting a little bit busy as well. He's very available, taking the pause. I think there's Yeah, slight injury there, it looks like. Just on the back of the left knee. There's the players, Gelon, of course, and Romain Tamac, Paul Grau, Jack Willis adding himself to the injury list. I hate to see legs that get tangled up and caught as the body weight takes you down in a different direction and you fall and your weight falls in the wrong place. It's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not nice to see guys in distress because they normally have a fairly high threshold of pain.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And especially with the adrenaline going on.
Joueur de Clermont-Ferrand sur le joueur blessé, s'il vous plaît.
Donc, on fait un appel vidéo, Christophe, s'il te plaît, donc pour voir le jeu déloyal du joueur jaune sur un éventuel jeu déloyal sur la jambe. Là.
On a demandé les images, elles arrivent, tu les as.
Oh, I think he just took that from. Yeah, I think he took a bit of a glancing blow from Christian Aujevin. Clermont prop.
Ça sera le meilleur angle, celui-ci.
It's Castro Ferreira. That was it there. It's his left knee, so it's either.
I think the foot just gets caught underneath. I'm not even sure that there's anything malicious about it.
On va remettre le dernier plan de l'embut. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir la caméra?
I don't think he's targeting him to injure him, but they might have a question mark of.
Look, it's down there, and it's whether or not Aujovan's body is on it as he went down. I don't think there's anything, malicious in that, to be honest with you.
The problem for Aujovan is he's angling downwards on the clean out. There you see it there, and watch the knee buckle on the inside there from Castro Ferreira.
Donc aucune circonstance atténuante.
Le numéro 3.
Oh yes, he's heading down a little bit. Yeah, he sort of arrows down onto the leg. So.
Ooh. At least he had both cards out. We could only see the reverse side, which was red.
Yeah.
Le joueur vient avec l'épaule verrouillée directement dans le genou, dans l'articulation du joueur. Non. Il y a un joueur noir qui fait. Il vient avec l'épaule verrouillée dans l'articulation directement. Il n'y a pas de circonstance atténuante. C'est carton rouge.
Well, it's a red card. And, this is all about the safety of the players. It's a massive blow. And there's me thinking that the leg just got caught up. The fact is that it was dangerous. And, you're actually putting a lot of pressure on a player like Alvin Placine. I mean, he's not in a great place as he goes off. Let's hope that he's going to be fine.
Well, I think I understand the reasoning, but it's very rare that you see an action like that goes straight to a red card. I mean, they've got the luxury of, I assume they do in these games, have the 10 minutes to decide whether it goes from yellow to red.
Well, if it's a straight red, then it's a straight red. But if it's a yellow, you can go to the bunker.
So they can review it. So normally you might think that the TMO could spend 10 minutes debating or, determining whether that was worth a red, but they've gone straight to it.
But we don't have bunker in the top 14. That's the reason why. It's just in the Six Nations. There's the 11 minutes. And still no points on the scoreboard, but we do have one play less. Aujovan has received a red card, as you can see. So that's a massive blow. Clermont really need to now, and they need to fight now. Good opportunity with Newsom trying to open up and get a little bit of pace. Caught up just outside of the 22. Using some of the forwards this time, you can see it's Thomas Lavanini who's joining. Look at that, there's a bit of a Hulk maneuver taking place with Paul Costa's shirt. Lavanini joining Lyon at the end of this current season. And we've got Clément Verge who's come on to replace Placine.
That's a long, long way to go for Clermont, even though they're at home almost 70 minutes, down to 14 men against one of the best teams in the world at manipulating space.
Yeah, I think that you know, losing a prop is one thing, because we have props can get replaced, you know, so I'm just trying to understand if it's best to have a prop that goes off. I mean, you know, hopefully they won't get too many, they won't get a scrum for a while.
Well, they've got to have a front row, don't they?
So they have to have
probably a back rower is going to come off. So,
yeah.
You know, going in there with 2 back rowers.
Yeah, and they've got Yato, who's already been strong. Kramer's been ball carrying, and Fritz Lee is probably one of the best rugby pirates that I would ever want as a teammate on a pitch. So you've got a big bit of a headache there, Christophe Urios, on who he wants to bring off. Kramer unable to take that. It's been picked up by Bocelli Yato, but don't think it was straight.
And they're always going to have to go to short lineouts now, Clermont as well. So it means rather than have 6 in the lineout, they went to 5, as from the free kick it goes up high.
And picked up by Delguy. Delguy going on a little bit of a move with those wonderful feet that he has. Kramer takes it forward. Well, surely that's... unless he didn't have his hands on the ball, that looked like it was a good attempt at jackling. Just got into a very good position. Obviously didn't have his hands on the ball. The ball's been kicked up over the top from Bezzi. And Fritz Lee, that would look like it was a knock-on. George Moala unable to pick it up. There's De Payeta, runs into a little bit of trouble. And there is a knock-on. And it's going to be a scrum for Clermont. A little bit scrappy at times, isn't it? You know, it's like sort of everybody's desperately trying to string together some passes and just hold things and just calm things down, but it's a little bit complicated at the moment for both teams.
There's the second time that Toulouse has pinched the ball off a Clermont throw. I don't think Clermont will be worried if it is a bit scrappy. I think down to 14 men, they don't really want structure or flow to this game. They want to be sort of guerrilla tactics.
I'm a big fan of Leo Banos, by the way, the former Mont de Marsan player. And this is Fritz Lee, who's been sacrificed. And Rabah Slimani will come on, of course, to replace Cristiano Jovan.
Got to suspect that we'll see Fritz Lee back again. Now 5-3 on the bench, so it does give them effectively now a 6th forward reserve to play with. He comes into the game now, George Moala, both the centres for Clermont, having to share a bit of the role of that extra loose forward, get in and try and jackal a few. It's a much higher work rate now for the centres.
And everybody's got to just chip in with an extra 10-20%, you know, just to cover the fact that they've got their 15th man off the pitch. And that becomes, you know, it's all about focus, isn't it? It's all about...
Sometimes it can be a real unifying force, you know, down a player. You really know you've got to put the effort in. You're able to find something a little bit extra throughout the team. And, of course, if the opposition team thinks, oh, it's going to be easier because we're 1 man down, sometimes their effort can tail off. So you can see some extraordinary things from teams down a man.
Bezzi's trying to get he wants the ball off the back, but in fact... Very, very frustrating. You could see that Fritz Lee... They were trying to get the ball out of the back. Bezzi was screaming to his forwards to get the ball out. Let's get it moving. But a little bit rickety, the scrum finally. It stayed in.
But of course, all the effort they put in as 7 men scrumming against 8.
Yeah.
I know they've got a... Oh, sorry, there.
It's Pierre Foissac. Yeah. Pierre Foissac has been put in over
Let's
on
say 7.5 against 8 then.
Yeah, kind of. No, he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
It does become leg wearying, of course, when you're putting that extra effort in against a full pack, full scrummaging pack against you.
It's Yato who's basically moved to the number 8 position. Well, there it is. It's crumbled well. Something's working. Yato takes the ball and goes on a bit of a run. Good opportunity. There's the kick through. Raka's going to try and pick this up. If it bounces kindly, it doesn't. It goes out of play. But the idea was good, and quick acceleration. And you just understand why Bocelli Yato wants to get it moving. And it's quickly taken. The line out.
Stolen.
And it's been stolen, as you said, by Clermont. George Berrier. Clermont in a good position. It's a good tackle there. Lavanini. Kramer. Well, there's a player coming off his feet and just flying over. I think it was Lavanini just coming into support. If you don't stay on your feet, then obviously the referee's going to spot you. That was the case there for Follow Fangar.
Yes, I think what they're looking, we're seeing a lot more penalties like this. It's probably not a bad thing. We do want to favour the team in possession as much as possible. It doesn't have to be a 50-50 competition each time there's a breakdown, but at the same time, you can't go in and seal off the ball and, you know, stop the opposition team from having a crack at it. He did get tackled, Fainga'a, so it wasn't really his fault. He went over the top of Merkler, so he was already sort of falling to ground. I don't think it was really voluntary. What you've just got to do is be very, very careful as a support player coming in that your body angle doesn't look like it's ploughing down into the ground.
Line out. One there by Toulouse, thrown in by Guillaume Cramont, the former Daxois player. Charges time coming in from Verge. Barassi doing well. And there's Cost with a little chip through. Oh, there's a player who's fallen, and look at Retier. Retier's going to score. How about that? And a little bit of opportunist play. His opposite man just fell to the ground and allowed him to just dance away. Just needed to make sure that he picks it up. And there's your first point scored by Toulouse. And Arthur Retier doing the business in the corner.
Well, a fantastic try created by individual skill from that man, Paul Cost. Came really from not much. Pretty benign. But what you'll see in this next phase is Paul Cost just moves, drifts slowly out with the pass, creates himself the space. On the next phase, watch there, you see him just in the edge of a picture, and he starts moving out with the pass, gets himself half into space, and then on the outside of his right boot, puts a perfectly weighted kick through. A little bit of a lucky bounce, but that's rugby, and well played, Paul Cost.
And look at this kick here. This is fantastic. Little chip through the two players, Newsom and Delguy. They actually collide, which basically enables Retier to go and dance off unchallenged relatively. Just misses the target. 5 points in the bag. Retier getting the first score.
There it was there. Just got himself on the outside, enough to interest the defenders and bring that final defender up from Clermont. Then the kick through, like I say, perfectly weighted. Bit of a lucky bounce, but still had a bit of work to do, Retier, to get over. Well played, Toulouse.
First points being scored at the halfway through the first half. Toulouse will be happy with that score. Gomola and his staff. Newsom. There's an opportunity here, bit of broken play. Erda Payeta gets the ball out to Moala. That's a great tackle from Cost defensively, showing what he's capable of doing, not just offensively. Berrier just spins out of the hit coming in from Brennan. And Clermont continue. The Jackalers try and steal the ball, and they win it as well. Brilliant piece of play, and I think that was top quality work there coming in from Leo Banias.
That's the problem for Clermont with being down a man. And just got to adjust pretty much everything, all their structures. Somewhere they're going to have one fewer player to get there on the clean out. And if Toulouse can identify that moment, they can be dangerous like they were here.
Matisse Castro Ferreira doing some good work at the breakdown. 8th appearance here for Toulouse. France under 20s player. It only seemed like yesterday that Jean Bouillot and Clermont were gracing the fields down in the Garonne and lighting up Ernest Vallon. Juan Cruz Malia of Argentina. Strikes it well, and look at that. That is absolutely perfect for Juan Cruz Malia. The Argentinian fly half, 8 points to 0. And a good strong start here for Toulouse. Exploiting the extra man on the pitch following the red card handed out to Cristiano Jovan. Oh, there's a player that's been blocked completely there as we see Bati Sherman go on a wander. Retier picks it up, motoring his way up and into enemy territory. Merkler. Joshua Brennan, they got the advantage here. There's an offside call. And Cruz Malia went backwards. Costas, broken play, he's very dangerous. No one really wants to tackle him. When Cruz Malia always been met by George Moala, you've got to be careful there. The 18-year-old Calvin Gorg will go back to the penalty.
They've got to be clean here, Clermont. They've got to be disciplined, because every penalty they give away, the opportunity for Toulouse just to get out of their own half and get up and perhaps take 3 more points, which they're about to try and do. That game could slip further and further away if Clermont is not careful. Cost identifying that they were getting a little bit too lateral there, so he decided to take the ball up the middle, just give his forwards a target to go to and get back on the front foot. Good tackle from Moala up quickly on Gorg.
This penalty more central, he's pulled it to the left this time. And the points don't go up onto the board. It's still 8 points for Toulouse, 0 for Clermont. On a day when France were held by Italy in the Six Nations, 13 points apiece. Olugabisi having his penalty at the very last kick of the encounter. Skim off the right post after it came off the tee, and he only had 10 seconds to readjust and try and kick it. Kicked it well, but it still didn't manage to sail between the sticks. Oh, that's a hit there coming in on Gorges, and another fine tackle coming in from Aliverati Raka. Former French international, of course, originally from Fiji.
It was a great effort from Italy today. I'm surprised they didn't have more of a question with the referee about the French being within that 10 metres for the very last penalty. As a kicker, I would have been screaming to him on the way in, take 2 bites at it.
I think there was more focus on, panic kicking, which a pressure cooker situation. And, you're probably thinking, oh, yeah, this is to offer Italy a win in France. And that just doesn't happen all the time, does it? So quite extraordinary. They got the advantage here, and Clermont in a good position to try and do something. And Moala just tries to motor between the black shirts of this Toulousain side. Berrier goes down, hands on the ball, but we'll go back to the penalty. And I wonder if they'll kick for the corner here or just go for the sticks. I think maybe they'll want to try and do something. It might be a little bit out of Paeta's range. He's about a 45, 50-metre kicker, but this is it's out wide, isn't it?
It looked from that dropout as well that Clermont's playing into a reasonably significant breeze as well, which might have explained why Mola looked so disappointed Toulouse didn't get those last 3 points. He knows if they're playing with the wind, they need to make the most of it. And as you say, Robbie, I think just a little bit too far out for Clermont to think it's a gimme, taking a goal kick from there. So possession is the key. When they're down to 14 men, they don't want to be giving Toulouse any extra possession. So getting hold of the ball and hanging on to it for significant periods of time is very important for Clermont.
Yeah, lineouts need to be secured, and they have been on this occasion. This is a good driving maul. Players in positions there. He's just peeled off the back there, Fangar. Bezzi goes seeking and digging for the ball. It's been picked up by Kramer, smashes directly into Merkler. That's a giant, colossal clash of titans. Moala's still going. Oh, he drops it into the hands of Yato. That's really nicely done. Well, it looked like it was a little bit of a fumble, but not the case. They carry on going. Pierre Foysac doing the business. Into Paeta, change of direction. Watch out. Racket squares up straight into the Toulouse defence. Brennan tries to get his hands on it and successfully does. And a little bit of skullduggery there produced by the Stade Toulousain. And what about this? Maybe Coste wants to run from underneath his sticks, having seen Dakawanga do the business for Stade Francais on Saturday night. Oh, Coste picks the ball up. This is beautifully done. There's a bit of traffic coming back, and Germain brought down just inside of the Clermont half. Picked up once again, Retier this time. Baptiste Germain, Fasalele going a little bit deeper. Cruz Malia, that's a nice ball, cram on into the hands of the American, David Ernoux. They go out wide once again. Brennan, inside pass. Barassi's super dangerous when he gets going. And Paeta on the deck holding his head. Merkler tries to stride over Fangar. David Ernoux held up, driven down. Little bit of judo taking place off the focus of the ball. Penalty it is. Got to get out of there. Players just slowing it all down, and I think that it was Follow Fangar who was basically just getting in the way of easy access. And this man here, Thomas Lavanini.
Yeah, well, he knew he had to do it, Lavanini. Bit of a sacrifice there. He just lay on top of the player on the ground. Toulouse just looked absolutely relentless as they continued up the field, the support play, phase after phase, and they really had Clermont on the ropes. And Lavanini took the bullet, lay all over. This is their opportunity on the far end, Clermont, when the ball just got pilfered by Brennan. Wasn't controlled by Raka. And in the end, Coste it really was who made the decision and got up in support. They kept the ball alive. Retier was involved as well, using everybody, making sure they stay alive on the inside. And eventually, like I say, Lavanini, I think there's one more phase maybe. Right in front, and 3 easy points for Toulouse.
Yeah, they got 3 more points. They hit double figures now, 11 points for Toulouse. And Juan Cruz Malia doing the business from the tee. And Clermont struggling. That was the moment that he got hit back, a little bit of a cut to the ear. He'll be fine. It's not the first time, won't be the last time as well. He'll be playing into his 50s normally.
Bit of colour in the cheeks too, the original rouge.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. I've been very impressed. That Calvin Gorg pass into the hands of Coste just as he was being hit, just showing that, you know, Toulouse have got those little pipites all over the place, and they continue to groom them through the academy, and all of a sudden they get released into the slipstream, and you see some wonderful players and future players for France in all of the different age categories, of course, until they get into the senior side. It's absolutely brilliant. What a wonderful academy they've got. Toulouse in their own 22, looking to try and clear their lines. We enter the last 9 minutes, and it is the travelling team who are very much in command at the moment. If you're just joining us, Cristiano Jovan of Moldova has been red carded for a dangerous hit on the knee of Alban Placine in a ruck. And he picked up a straight red for that. Placine got taken off. He wasn't in a that much of a bad state, but he didn't look great, did he? Line out, Clermont, and not straight. These are the opportunities that you've got to take full advantage of. And Folo Fangard, the former Brumbies player, in his 12th game, 11th start for Clermont, just not getting his line straight from the throw.
They really do need to get on the board before half-time. Clermont be quite deflating going in a home match, although they have been playing into the wind. But an interesting decision maybe to select that option of the line out with quite a blustery wind there and just throwing long. Leave yourself a little bit open there for anything to go wrong. Yeah, getting some points on the board, just going back in, you know, even if it was 3 points and they're only 8 points down, rather than having a big old bagel there to contemplate in the 15 minutes at half-time.
Baptiste Germain. Been told to play it. Well, it was there for the taking, and Yato will be really peeved that he didn't manage to get his hands on that and fly off into the 22. Toulouse get possession, and now they're looking very dangerous because there's the kick, and it's not a bad kick, but it's well picked up by Newsom. Oh, a little bit of a... I wonder if he dropped that. That looked like it was a knock-on rather than... something that was calculated. Well, the crowd and some of the players obviously have got incensed by a clean out there. I think it was on Uri Pieta, sorry. Couldn't see what, maybe it was one of the Toulouse locks came through. It looked worse than what it was. He got quite low, but it was certainly smashing into one of the Clermont backs. Well, Merkler's got Demolition Man written all over him, and I think that the cameras have picked up on that. We'll get to see maybe a replay.
Si on a quelque chose à la vidéo, j'aimerais vers nous. Je vois Lucas vous parler, pour moi il n'y a rien de particulier.
Yeah, there's nothing happening. I think the two players got tangled up post, you know, action, and you know that's all that happened, and that's good from the referee, Mr. Gaznier. He basically just said, sort of, you know, guys, just, you know, let's keep this well disciplined, you know, until the end of the game. You know, at the moment it's going well. There's no need to get, you know, annoyed and frustrated and get caught up in things. So let's keep this, keep this game on a, yeah, I think frustration on a decent level. The word. Here's this clean out here. Oh, that is quite. They felt that it was onto the back of Uri Pieta. Oh, he might be picked up. It's Verger. And I think that led to the next phase where you might be right, actually. Fangard came up, flying up, and you know, sometimes when you come up on defence and the player passes the ball, you think, well, I'm out of play. You may as well take him out of play as well. Sort of 1-for-1 deal. It's interesting they didn't go to the TMO and just go a little bit further back, just to sort of, you know, make sure that everything was okay. I wonder if this will be picked up. Hugo Mola watches on. You can just, I mean, you can sense how cold it is. It's like 2 degrees, chance of snow. Well, they also get nervous, coaches, when they see replays shown, especially when they're slowed down like that, and you look at those collisions at the breakdown. Really, anything can happen. You could probably take any breakdown in this game and find a card somewhere in it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Everybody's okay with this, so we just carry on. 5.5 minutes to go here in Stade Marcel Michelin, Auvergne. Clermont, they won 5 of their 7 home games, and most recently they managed to beat Castro away, and then Lyon at home, and last weekend it was a defeat against Bayonne 21-13. Next weekend they go to visit Ronan O'Gara up in Marcel de Flandre, which should be quite interesting. And, well, they get a free kick for this. Timing not good, picked up very quickly. Of course he's going straight in, look at that, human battering ram, he is Yato. And to the edge of the 22, they go again. It's true that they've got some very solid players. This is George Moala arcing around the outside, just straightening up. And finally running into a couple of the Toulouse defenders. Lavanini meets Merkler. Bezzi, Paeta, short pass, and Pierre Foysac. It's around the neck, that is, from Banos. And Fasaleli steals the ball. That's a turnover ball. Toulouse pick it up. This is going to be quite feisty now, mates. I get the impression, the way that sort of, you know, they're engaging in the hits. Something's changed in the, you know, in the way that they're playing. Got to be very disciplined. Got to be very careful. Ball chucked down as a wild pass as well. Look at that. And the idea was good. You just got to make sure that you got a teammate right behind where you're passing that ball to.
That's a great result for Clermont because they had almost blown it at this point when the ball got turned over there and Fasaleli came in and stole it. The desperation, I think, is palpable, and I think Toulouse has picked up on that as well, that Clermont really wanted to accelerate those first few phases and they were just getting around desperately. Had a bit of a balk there, just a couple of players in the way as Germain was looking to find his kicker.
There was Pierre-Louis Barassi who just came in and he was just getting back into a defensive position, and then he just had to duck a little bit and he blocked the view, and here we go. Clermont with a good opportunity here. This platform is the perfect setup for them. I think that we've understood that with Yato, ball carrying will be quite an important, you know, pivotal player in the way that they actually do this. But first of all, they've got to win the scrum. They've got to hold up, and then they've got to try and sort of, you know, get something off the back. But they've been scrummaging quite well, Clermont, so far. Bezzi gets the ball in. Pierre Foysac, they got the penalty as well. It's been picked up. Yato goes very close to the line. Has it been made available? Yeah, Bezzi's got it. Less than a metre out, chucked over the top. It's an easy score in the corner. Bautista Del Gui of Argentina does the business in the corner for Clermont, and they wipe away that 0 and put 5 points on the scoreboard. Perfect time for the Yellow Army to get themselves back into this game, having lost their tight head prop, Cristiano Jovan, very early on in the game.
A timely response from Clermont. They really needed that, and there was a little bit of luck there involved with the ball bobbling around at the back of the scrum. Yato was a little bit lucky nobody else got there to pick it up, but in the end he drove forward. The support was there quickly. They had numbers, Clermont, but so did Toulouse. You see there, and they just took their eyes off the figure of Bautista out wide.
Benjamin Paeta, been in the wars, as you can see. Let's see if he can add the extras from out wide. It can't come across as well as he would like it to, so 5 points. Christophe Urios' men doing the business, but there was good vision there from Sébastien Bezzi. He saw that he could get the high pass over the top into the hands of the very tall Bautista Del Gui. Did a brilliant job in making sure that that was firmly controlled, firmly grounded before the cavalry, the defensive cavalry, could arrive for Toulouse. Bezzi smashes it into the stands. Good clearance kick up towards the halfway line.
It just shows what stress can do in those sort of situations. Toulouse right on their line, not wanting to concede a try, all looking in at the ball. They had some numbers there on defence, but they just hadn't looked opposite them to see what the Clermont players were doing. Del Gui had set himself right wide. They possibly could have covered that Toulouse. Easy to say in hindsight, but just stressed and looking in at the ruck.
Oh, that looks like it was knock-on. Surely no. Linesman's not reacting to that, but there was a fumble, but it may have gone backwards in any case. Picked up there. Oh, that's a poor pass, and it's been picked up. Now, Clermont on the attack. It's well chucked into the hands by Moala, into the hands of Raka. Tries to wriggle free of Joshua Brennan. Comes back out at a Paeta, and some good little manoeuvres there with Newsom cutting inside, brought down. We've gone past the 40-minute mark. And this has just been kicked into the stands. They just want to regroup, get a breather, I think, you know, because they've been playing without a 15th man on the pitch for quite a while, and they get themselves stuck in for the second half. It's a positive end to their half, Clermont, so they'll take something very positive from that. Sébastien Bézi's reaction. Two or three opportunities to score. And then we, you know, concede a try and we lose possession. Difficult because we've, you know, picked up a red card, but everything's possible. We're still in this.
Arthur, bon, vous avez marqué les premiers, on sent beaucoup de jeu aussi, vous avez fait le dos rond au début de période. Que faire pour la seconde?
Ouais, on essaye de faire des choses propres.
Yeah, we're going to try and do clean rugby. Yeah, we're making a few mistakes ourselves, and you know, not getting the ball out of our own half, and you know, throwing the ball away. Some silly mistakes. We just want it to be clean and tight in the second half. Easier said than done, Mertz. But you know, at the same time, you know, if that would be the perfect rugby game, wouldn't it? If it was clean and sort of, you know, slick. It's not the case so far. We've seen a bit of scrappy play, hence that pass back, of course, from Germain. Delguy and Retier scoring tries in the 19th and the 38th minutes, with Malia scoring 2 pens. Ojovan sent off in the 11th minute, which has obviously hindered and hurt Clermont a little bit, but very much still in this, having scored that try just a couple of minutes before the end of the half. They'll take a lot of positives from that. We're going to take a small break. We'll be back for the second half of this clash to round off round 16 of the top 14, Clermont, Toulouse. Welcome back to the Stade Marcel Michelin down in the Auvergne. It's round 16 of the top 14. Clermont up against Toulouse, and well, this is the wonderful spectacular that you can expect if you ever come down to this wonderful part of the world to watch Clermont play. Clermont, well, just putting a lot of pressure on this Toulouse team, but it all went a little bit pear-shaped when Alban Placine had his knee turned from the tight head prop for Clermont. Cristiano Jovan took him out. Look at that hit. There you go, right on Bautista Delguy's shoulder. It was crushed, it was hit hard. It's a straight red because it's a very dangerous play. Alban Placine, hopefully it's not a serious injury, but marching orders within the first 12 minutes. Limps off Placine, and Toulouse, well, they kind of seize control. Baptiste Germain doing really well with Juan Cruz Malia. And good work with Verge getting involved. And just look at this from Coste. Wonderful play, mates.
Yeah, beautiful individual effort. He drifted wide, got outside the defending winger, which brought fullback up from Clermont. Then he popped in a beautifully weighted kick, and Retier got a bit of a lucky bounce, but it was fantastic play. He deserved it. They deserved this result, Toulouse. And at this stage, with Clermont down to 14 men, it really looked like Toulouse was going to start pulling away.
The little hesitation before Retier took the ball enabled Raka to fly past him and spin off him, which was great stuff. Then this Clermont putting pressure on this Toulouse defence. Bézi throwing the long ball out wide, and this all came from a botched attempt for a clearance kick from Baptiste Germain.
Yeah, that's right. Finally, some encouragement for Clermont. That was really important. They go into the break now having scored some points, more importantly, having scored a try. They're down to 14, but they now are encouraged for the 40 minutes to come, particularly with the wind at their back.
Delguy getting that try just a couple of minutes before the end of the first half, with Arthur Retier, the former La Rochelle and Racing man, in his second season at Toulouse doing the business, or Jovan going off. In terms of possession, Clermont have, well, slightly better hands on the ball percentage than their opponents. Territory's the same. They've got to be a little bit more clinical. I think that they need to keep that possession, but also you know, just cover themselves. They've got to put in that extra 10, 20%, you know, on the pitch, because with one player less, the legs will start to get a bit tired at the end of this, midway through this second half. It's going to be complicated out there, but it's up to Toulouse to also strike.
Well, Clermont, the last 15 minutes of that first half is their blueprint. They held onto the ball a lot better. They put pressure on Toulouse. We started seeing a couple of mistakes from Toulouse. Clermont capitalised. They can't afford to give players like this guy, Paul Costa, or any of the other Toulouse, the abundant talent that's throughout their team, they can't afford to give them opportunities. So Clermont's still very, very much in this. It's an uphill battle with one player less, but they can still call on some incredible international experience and some talent, the likes of Moala, the big boys up front, Kramer. They've still got Fritz Lee, who you've got to assume will come back into the match at some point and try and weigh on some tiring legs later in the half.
Second half here between Clermont and Toulouse. And Clermont 35 points, Toulouse on 46. Stade Francais the leaders with 50. Clermont looking to try and clamber back into this encounter. Toulouse get the second half underway. And they pick up possession. Verne. Cramon, Baptiste Germain. And Cruz Malia back to Germain. He's got time and space to go on a little bit of a wander, which is pretty concerning for this Clermont defence. It's a fast and furious start to the second half. See what the counter-rucking is going to happen here. Trying to get his hands on that, Kramer. The referee on the cusp of blowing the whistle. Running through traffic. This is brilliant from Malia. Getting the ball out to David Enu. No one went for him. They've been sleeping since the whistle was started, and there's the try. How about that for a brilliant piece of rugby? Charging right through and scoring the try. That is absolutely brilliant. And it comes from Matisse Castro Ferreira.
Well, the worst possible start for Clermont to this second 40 minutes. Toulouse have obviously had a bit of a tune-up in the changing rooms at half-time. They've come out, they got a bit of a lucky bounce there of the ball, but they surged onto attack straight away. Their control of the ball, they picked the gaps. They sold a few dummies as well. Ended up getting some relentless go forward. Here's the run from Malia. Goes right through the middle. The support is there. They hold onto the ball. And next thing, it just opens up for Castro Ferreira, and over he goes.
And the extras are good as well, and all of a sudden they've got 18 points, and we're barely a couple of minutes into the second half. That's a massive blow for Clermont. They did all of that hard work at the end of the first half, and then all of a sudden, look what Malia does, racing between the flankers, Banyos and Verne, of course, and then afterwards, well, sorry, Kramer and Yato, and finding lots of space. Raka picks the ball up, mows down Brennan. It's there for the taking. No, they got nudged into his way. That was illegal if he was going to grab hold of that. That looked like it got dropped out of his hands, but probably still deemed inside of the ruck. Irapaeta, options, let's see. Oh, that's a wonderful break. That is fantastic. Delgui still going, brought down. Good tackle there. Irapaeta. A little bit isolated out there. They've got numbers to lose. You're better off bringing it back into the middle. Beria with the charge. Heading off to Perpignan at the end of the season. Ball comes out to the Payeta. Now what options do they got? Quick hands. Oh, it's a bit of a wild pass, but Raka picks it up. And let's see what he's capable of doing. Pierre-Louis Barassi doing well, just making sure that he's has his legs stretched and has been picked up, pounced on. That's great. Bit of poaching, that really is. It's been won back, look at that. That is absolutely brilliant stuff there from Folo Fanga. The strength of the Clermont hooker, outstanding. Big charge, oh the offload, there it is, Beria trying to get their hands in. Kramer, look at that hit coming in from the 18-year-old Gorga. And Clermont trying to hit back. Lavanini this time. Flanked by Fasaleli. Slimani. Got to be smart, they've got to be patient, they need support players in every phase, every drive. This is better. Clermont, Yato likes to peel and go himself. Hit by Merkler. Want to keep the ball very tight. Berrier doing very, very well. It's been picked up. That's going over. There's your try. Clermont, fantastic acceleration and a brilliant drive. And look at that. It finally goes over. Lavanini's the man who will get the points to his name. But very strong start and response there from Clermont, having conceded the try.
Here's the steal from Falau Fainga, and he targeted that right from early on. He came in for the big tackle, and then he ripped the ball, and from this moment forward, the surge from Yato on the offload here. Watch this. Beautiful. See, the big forwards, the big boys having such fun keeping the ball alive. And here's the last one. It was a very quick pick and go, but he had the support of Yato, Tomat Lavanini. The pick and go, all the forwards had been attracted into that first surge from Clermont, and then Lavanini got the ball quickly, he accelerated, and he had his support of his big mates, Yato. There was one other player alongside him. Brutal try and a timely one again for Clermont. They stay in touch.
And the extras are good for Ida Bayeta. And, well, it's an interesting battle, this one. And a bit of a seesaw scenario. But Lavanini getting the 5 points there. A future Lyon player heading down to the Rhone Valley. And Cruz Malia. And Baptiste Jonot coming on for Bezzi. Oh, that's a little bit high there from Merkler. Oh, no, it's on the shoulder, says the referee. Good response. Immediate reaction. Toulouse trying to jackal. Watch out for Jonot, he's a wonderful player. Former Biarritz player, third season playing for Clermont. Picked up by Calvin Gorg. Flung down by that man Yato. Baptiste Germain, Joshua Brennan this time. Flattened by Slimani. The kick goes up. Oh, he's trying to drop it into the hands of Raka. Payeta did a brilliant job there, but that looked like it was a knock-on. Came off a Toulouse player. Quite surprised the linesman didn't pick up on that. The mark will be made. And now, just to give them a moment to get their breath back. What a frenetic start to the second half, mates.
Yes, it's been end-to-end, hasn't it? And still not finished now. Missed touch. I don't think he was going for it, but it certainly didn't want to put it into the midfield like he did.
Yeah, I think it's swirling, isn't it? That's a good offload. This is better. Yato. We got to go low. David Enu just manages to get a contact, bringing him down. Lovely spin there from Lavanini. Bringing everything to this encounter. That's not a great pass. Went backwards, says the referee, Mr. Gaznier. Because again, Lavanini. Baptiste Jonot. Charge coming in this time from Fanga. Nicely done, Jano. George Moala. Oh, it's just this way. Well, it went. He couldn't keep it in his hands there, Marcus Kramer.
Can't believe finally they've called a knock on.
There were a couple there, weren't there?
Fanga getting some running repairs. He put his head down there and just decided there's only one way. Get the team going forward. Pretty sturdy defence from Toulouse as well. All fairly agile. You see the front rowers throwing themselves around and around the fringes as well.
Yeah, there's some big hits coming in. And they're coming up quite quickly, the Toulouse defence. You'll see that they've got 2 players on the running man because they got that extra player on the pitch, which enables them to just lock in, and with the satisfaction of knowing that they don't have to throw an extra player out wide because they can cover. Lucas Tauzin, a future Clermont player, come next August, or even before then, but his first game for Clermont will be next August normally, the 25-year-old.
I've seen there the flags at the top of the post showing how strong that wind is up high. It doesn't look so bad at ground level, but as soon as those kicks get up high, they're getting taken very, very strongly by that wind.
Timing not good. Bati Germain taps it, gets it moving. There's Juan Cruz Malia. Went backwards, no knock on. Brennan straightens up, does really well. Look at him, he's still going. There's the offload, and Banos picks it up. That's the inside pass. That is absolutely sterling stuff. And another try coming from Matis Castro Ferreira. And this is absolutely brilliant. A 2-try scenario here for the big number 8 for Toulouse.
Well, again, something out of nothing. Quick tap from Toulouse. Support play, running into space. Barassi, it was, who found the initial gap. It looked like it broke down here, but Brennan got the go forward, gets the call on his left, gets the pass away. And once that ball got to Castro Ferreira, he just had to avoid one ankle tap, and over he goes. And from a seemingly innocuous situation for Clermont, Toulouse scores another try.
256 minutes of professional rugby coming into this encounter, and he gets a brace of tries wearing the black shirt of Toulouse and enabling the visitors to stretch their lead once again.
Couple of question marks. The crowd were trying very hard to have the refereeing team look at it. That last pass looked pretty straight. There was a question over perhaps the offload of Brennan to his left, whether the support player was in front of him or not, but the try stands. Good play from Toulouse again, and Clermont having to play catch-up.
That was made in Joshua Brennan land, wasn't it? 6th start for the 22-year-old. And that's going to be a line out for Toulouse. It sounded though there's a bit of contact there. Or maybe not. Sounded like it, didn't see it. In any case, 12-25. 2 tries to 3. And Malez coming on, and Rodrigue Netti. There he is, Paul Mallet, the 23-year-old, heading off to Provence. No, he went to Provence, he's been there already. What am I talking about? 4th season with Toulouse, but had a little stint at Provence. The big boys coming on as well for Clermont. There's Daniel Bibi Beziru and Thibaut Lannon coming on for Lavanini. And Kylian Tisserand as well coming on for Yato. Follow Fanga. Verge just flips it down. Fasilele going through the passes. Picks up by Newsom. Where's he going to go? Gets the ball out. Raka brought down by Cost. Cost just gets in the way defensively. Bibi Beziru. Jeannot gets the ball out once again at a Payeta. If they can move this quickly, they've got an overlap. They've got a player out wide. Oh, that's excellent there from Delguy. Got sucked into a black hole there, didn't he, with 3 defensive players there from Toulouse. Still managed to keep the ball. Clermont's Beziru. Knees on the ground. You've got to release the tackle player. Oh, he's been hit in the head there, I think. Castro Ferreira goes out wide. Follow Fanga. Jeannot. Thibaut Lannon this time. trying to muscle his way through a bit of traffic. Player receiving treatment. I think it is Castro Ferreira. Ida Paeta doing well. Jano keeping the ball alive. What options has he got? Fasaleli. Oh, he's playing. He won the ball and then he went down and made it available. Now they've got to be careful. There are players here. Dangerous players as well. Lucas Toza, we haven't seen too much of him in tonight's encounter, mates, have we? Toulouse on the attack, player out wide if they can get it out wide. Banos doesn't find Retier. Still stuck in their own half, Toulouse. We know that it's just a question of time. There's Verge trying to make the ball available. Cost tries to straighten up, he gets hit. There's Netty getting involved, that's nicely done, beautiful. Oh, the inside pass is absolutely sensational. Yeloui Barassi, oh, the 18-year-old, can he get past? Can he get home alone? That is a beautiful offload. Arthur Retier finishes off a colossal, expansive, beautiful phase of play for Toulouse. Brilliantly worked, brilliantly completed, and Toulouse move 18 points ahead, 13 minutes into the second half.
Sur le 8 noir, au 47 mètres par là-bas.
Unless we have something that's been picked up by the TMO.
On contrôle un éventuel jeu de loyal du 7 jaune là-bas.
So it's an illegal incident from a Clermont player, so the try looks like it's going to stay. There's a hit coming in on Clermont from Marcus Kramer. A clash of heads. He came in and it was a little bit wonky, wouldn't it? But I don't think it was intentional.
No, I think Castro Ferreira has caught the hip or the rump of Kramer there. You see him falling down there. There is where he sort of got the hip. It was a bit of a clumsy entry into the breakdown from Kramer.
No, you can look at, there's the head hit. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at Clermont and Kramer. That's clumsy. That'll be a yellow card.
Sorry, I was looking at Castro Ferreira copping it from Kramer rather than elsewhere with the shoulder. Frustration coming through.
Je vois qu'il vient déblayer le 2 noir. Et c'est le 8 qui est en train de tomber qui est... Je vois pas de contact à la tête.
Si, il y a un contact à la tête. Il y a contact à la tête. Il y a contact à la tête.
Sur quel joueur? Sur le 8 noir?
No, see, the referee's looking at that number 8, like I was originally.
Non, le 8, il n'y a rien. C'est sur le 2.
Remets-moi le contact à la tête sur le 2 noir.
Yeah, they're saying on the second, on the hooker, deux noirs.
Well, because Castro Ferreira is holding his head at the end of this ruck, the referee thought it was all about him, so he hasn't seen this higher up incident from the shoulder of Kramer.
Le 2 en haut, le 2 noir en haut.
Contact du 7 dans la tête du...
Absolument.
Okay, donc
But he's falling over Castro Ferreira because his legs are on the other side, so his head hits him.
Absolument.
Yeah, I think that
I mean,
was...
there's a lot of collateral damage in there, I think, you know, and their bodies in different places.
But you're right, he may well have been targeting Castro Ferreira initially, and then as he fell out of the way, he missed his target.
Which is clumsy, so, you know, it's a yellow card because... So Kramer's might be the...
I think he's going to get yellow here.
Yeah, but that's head-to-head contact on Clermont. It's just a yellow card because of the changing of direction that it came into him. So, but I think that's just, you know, it's one of those situations where you've just got to protect players, right?
Yeah, but my problem with that is you can't protect against everything. And referees just said, look, the mitigating factor was that the falling down of number 8 changed the vision of Kramer. Well, if it changed the vision, then there's no real offences there. Regardless, Toulouse, absolutely imperious when they find a gap. Their support play, their communication, keeping the ball alive, their skill is absolutely unmatched, and they go over again, thanks to their teamwork and their cohesion.
Ugo Mola, very happy man, and they have now 4 tries to talk about, so you know, they're still in the hunt for a bonus point victory. The problem is with Clermont, they've got 13 players on the pitch. They lost their tight head prop, Christian Ojavan, back in the 12th minute, I think. And that in itself means that it's a complicated next 10 minutes.
That's an unbelievable clearance into the wind as well, and the ball's landed about a foot outside the touchline. Absolutely perfect from Toulouse. Straight away back up to halfway.
Yeah, you played here before. You know what it's like. The wind can change direction every 5 minutes.
Well, it looks like,
no, just
there, like the flag's going that way, but I still think where he kicked it from, he was into a little bit of it.
Fanga, nicely taken. Here they go. Arnold coming on for Fasaleli. Big charge here coming from George Moala. Need the big boys to stand up and suck in the defenders so that they have options to come out wide, and a little bit of magic for Clermont. That's nicely done. Uda Payeta coming to the rescue, and the men in black just making sure that they're down. And there's no hands on the ball there, so it's not a turnover ball or a penalty. But that's spillage, illegal ripping on a tackled player, I think. And Clermont's getting up gingerly, but this will give Uda Payeta a little bit of ammunition to kick for the corner. She's left-footed, so it's... that's a good scenario, it's a good platform. Isn't that a great crowd? 19,000, 19,500. It's a full house again. Every match is a full house for Clermont.
For a late kickoff on a Sunday night, it's pretty good, all right. Lavanini, we saw there, his night is over. He gets a well-earned break. Simmons there, his partner, is still on.
16th game for the 105 capped Australian lock. Follow Fanga. Need to find their man. Nicely done. Beautifully taken there from Lannon. Let's see what they can do. Fanga. Jano off the back. Uda Payeta tries to do a sneaky maneuver. They've got to be careful here. Players have got to come down. Uda Payeta trying to make the ball available. It's been ripped out of his hands. No, it hasn't. It's there. Still Clermont. Oh, look at that from Pipi Biziru. He's a colossal unit. Will drag down 3 or 4 players, sometimes 15. Jano. George Moala into traffic. Gets the ball into the hands of this man, Pierre Foissac, against his opponents. Is that forward pass? I think he tucked it into his hands when he hit the deck, which is frustrating here for Clermont.
Yeah, George Moala got caught up a little bit high, and as they have to do these days, the players trying desperately to get their knees to the ground. That's where the whole focus is. A very strong carrier, Moala. He's saying the ball got ripped out there and that he didn't have control. It shouldn't be a knock-on. May have a point too. It's a very grey area.
It is, it is.
Who actually has control over the ball until what point when someone's trying to rip it out of the arms?
Well, normally he's as safe as a bank vault when he's got his hands around that ball. Rarely loses possession.
Well, he's managed to keep it alive tonight a couple of times, and I think he's always trying to do that. You know, suck in 2 or 3 defenders, as an attacker like George Moala will do. Bring those defenders in and then still somehow keep the ball alive. So he's always looking for that as well, which means he's got to have the ball available. And so it's treading a fine line, protection of the ball, but still having it available if there's an opportunity to offload.
Castro Ferreira just getting rid of some of the strapping that's come loose. Been outstanding. 2 tries for the 20-year-old Toulousain. As I said, it's his 8th appearance, and it's already making his mark. Calvin Gorg, 18 years of age. Decisive as well in that last try that we saw with a wonderful pass. Toulouse in possession in their own backyard, trying to get rid of this. Louis Barassi. Oh, it's cost. He's lost it. Eder Payeta tries to get it back. We're going to go back for the scrum. That was a great opportunity, wasn't it? Maybe a little bit too quick, his reaction, Eder Payeta. If he'd have kept the ball in his hand for maybe an extra second, could have been a little bit different, because he would have seen players a little bit freer than where they were, but he was also being tackled by Coste, so it wasn't too bad.
Reasonably rare error from Paul Coste. He got hit pretty hard by Pierre Fouissac. Just coughing up the ball. He's been good on attack tonight and on defence. He's made some really critical tackles, getting up fast off the advantage line when he saw that he could do so, that there weren't great numbers from Clermont attack. He's got up and gone around the bootlaces, just snuffed out the attack several times.
Pierre Fouissac.
Yeah, may have sustained some damage in that hit.
Yeah, I think so. He did his cruciate ligaments in his right knee in his first game playing for Toulouse. And he was still French champions, won the Brennus with Toulouse that same year in 2020. Having played just
tonight too for Clermont. There he is again. He's looked like he hurt his shoulder a little bit. Now he's got to pack down. Keep that loose head props rump in tight.
There we go. Scrum solid. Jeannot getting the ball out. Here's George Mawala once again. Need to get the ball out quick. Jeannot doesn't know which way to go. Goes himself. This is brilliant play. Oh, Jeannot, unbelievable. Can he ground the ball? He's grounded it. And that is absolutely sensational. Baptiste Jeannot has just provided his team with a miraculous run through traffic between the giants of Toulouse to ground the ball and haul Clermont back into contention.
Can this be the spark that Clermont needs? They certainly needed something, and he had so much work to do. Baptiste Jeannot did all the work to get to the line, and then had even more work just to get the ball down as he attracted the attention of all the Toulouse defenders.
Eder Payeta kicks the 2 points to make it 19-32.
Wasn't sure where to go there, Jeannot. A good run from George Mawala to get going forward, but then he suddenly accelerates the big fend, and off he goes, surges towards the line, and then, like I say, having a lot more effort to try and get that ball down. He did so in the end, but sure, it caused some anxious moments for his supporters.
Oh, this is turning into quite an interesting little encounter. This one is Clermont, with 13 players on the pitch, still produce a 7-pointer. Literally underneath the posts from Baptiste Jeannot. And a bit of individual brilliance. It's Clermont 19, Toulouse 32. 2 tries, and they can put themselves back into the and put themselves in the lead. It looks like Jules Plisson's come on. Here's Gorg with the big kick. Nicely taken, beautifully taken. Well, that was touched by a Toulouse player. Fouissac goes off. Great opportunity. And the attempt to jackal the ball, that's a good little opportunity again. Delguy gets himself into the danger zone. Oh, good hands. Raka. Juan Cruz Malia just knocked off perfectly. Good charge there from Lannon. Jeannot getting involved as well. This is brilliant stuff, this time coming from Rosier. Going forward is Fangard, Clermont. They're feeling it. They need to just remain disciplined and go through the phases here, because they've got the upper hand. Raka's hit quite hard there by Lucas Tozan. And that's a stolen ball. Had to release the ball there, Raka, and it was jackaled right in the corner by Toulouse. Bit frustrating, but they've still got 13 players on the pitch, so they're covering even more ground than they were when they lost their last player. Oh, spillage! Got to be careful. Where's this gone? Well, it's going to be a scrum 5. This is bonkers, mates.
Well, just a couple of moments there for Baptiste Germain that he might look back on if things go pear-shaped here for Toulouse, which I'm not sure they will, but a couple of clearances, that pass that went to no one at the end of the first half, and under pressure from Folau Fainga'a, who really has come into prominence in the second half. Some big carries, some big defence, and putting enough pressure on there. Of course, Toulouse took it back over the goal line. It's their responsibility to clear that ball. Even if it gets charged, the last touch came off a Clermont player, it's Toulouse's responsibility to get rid of that ball. So it'll be a Clermont put-in and a golden attacking opportunity.
Interesting to see how they orchestrate this. Who's going to go on the back of the scrum? George Moala. Well, we've got players coming on, Sofiane Guitoun. And Labat coming on for Castro Ferreira.
They weren't well covered on the bench in terms of 9 and 10, Toulouse, as we mentioned. Plenty of centre covers with Guitoun and Puzel, but maybe under a bit of pressure now.
Hawks coming on for Clermont, the Australian hooker.
Ruck has gone onto the blind side of the scrum for Clermont. Be interesting to see if he manages to wheel around, if they get a good enough scrum and they bring him from the left side of the scrum. If it goes to the open side towards the post, Rucker could come in there as a bit of a threat.
There's so many threats there, it's ridiculous. Let's see what happens here. Jeannot gets it in. Oh, they've gone down. This is surely going to be a penalty. Tries to get the ball back. It's a little bit scrappy. Clermont in possession. Bizarro. Fainga'a just making sure that there's support there. Taken forward there. Thibault Lannon. Can't lose possession, otherwise it's going to be Toulouse who will race up the field and score. That's how tight they've got to be. They should have their 14th player back on the pitch. Oh, look at this from George Moala. Gets the ball out, Jeannot. Jeannot, an opportunity has been picked up. Is he going to get around the outside? Newsom. Oh, he chucks the ball into the hands of his teammates. Rosier drops it. And big mistake there. But we do have a penalty, so we'll go all the way back.
And now they will be able to return to 14, surely, Clermont.
It's a Newsom who drops the ball, in fact. Now, what are they going to go? Going to kick, or are they going to tap? I mean, you would normally tap it, right?
My guess is.
Come on, mates, what would you do?
Standing, look, it's a big run up for a tap kick.
Oh, Kramer back on. So that was it. That was the botched scrum, which enabled them to have the penalty advantage. Fainga'a will have the ball in his hands. Slimani comes and tells him where he's going to throw it, and then they get down to business. Big moment this is for Clermont with 15 to go. Perfectly taken. Now, can they get... They need to be careful. Richie Arnold's tentacles are very long. Players in offside position. They've got to get this moving now. Jeannot's at the back. They're still going. Fainga'a wants to go all the way. He's still pushing. He's going to go. No one's going to stop him from there. Fainga'a gets his try. A brilliant individual performance tonight. Capped off by a wonderful, timely score with less than 15 to go. And Clermont moved 24 to 32 in the closing stages of this pulsating encounter here at Marcel Michelin.
Well, hookers have become masters of the line-out drive. They get themselves back into that final position, get the ball in their hands, and they can control it from there. And he did so early for Folau Fainga'a. He had to contend with a little bit of traffic and a fair bit of work for him to do at the end. But as he drives through and plants the ball, it's all worth it. Great effort from the Clermont pack.
Jules Plisson makes it 26-32. This is a remarkable scenario, isn't it? Wonderful from Clermont. They must be going, we've got true grit, we've got resilience, we've got the capacity to hit back, but the way that he just blitzed Sofiane Guitoun out of the way because he said, that's my space there and I'm going to go and hit it, was just top-notch.
It's been a physically assertive performance, particularly the second half from Folau Fainga'a. what else they've got, Clermont, is they've got a very loud crowd right on their backs now.
And now they believe Delguy taking the ball just outside of the 22. Jeannot showing leadership skills. Chucked back to Jules Plisson, who smashes it high up into the sky. Is Calvin Gorg. Oh, he just gets flipped there by Fanga. There's a turnover ball. That's brilliant from Mawala. But I'm afraid that there is, what's the call? The ruck was formed. I'm not too sure about that.
I've been beating the drum for a long time that referees need to call more rucks being formed, but this looked like really good play from Mawala. There is contact there. Yeah, there's contact there. The ruck's been formed, but it was, gee, at the space of a couple of nanoseconds. Wasn't far off it at all. You see plenty of other players getting away with that.
It's true.
Like I say, I've been very keen to see referees call ruck formation a bit more often as more touch gets missed from a penalty kick.
That is not a good... Oh, that is just a fumble. That is a big, big mistake there. And Thomas Rosier, probably not warmed up enough, offers Toulouse a scrum 5 meters out, knocking the ball forward. The butterfingers as he was looking towards the Toulouse players who were coming up quickly. You can't make a bigger mistake than that.
Yeah,
don't take your eyes off the ball.
Yes, but he knows time's of the essence. He knows they've got chasers coming through, and you know, the assumption is that the ball's there, I'm picking it up, so what's the next thing? And easy temptation to fall into, especially if you hear a few big footsteps coming towards you.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's the Jumanji sound, isn't it? You know, big scrum, big moment, and well, they got 14 players, so they got a full scrum once again with Kramer back in there.
They'll be one short in the backs though, Clermont. They're putting again one of the backs in there. I'm sure they're trying to. No, I've lost if there's a number 8 there. Are they trying to defend with 7? Could really have the acid put on them now by that Toulouse pack if they are down to 7, Clermont.
Yeah, but their scrum's been working well. Retier puts it in. Oh, they got the advantage there. Banos gets the ball out, and as Cruz Mallier is going to go down into the corner. A deceivingly good runner with the ball in hand. Juan Cruz Mallier hits back, and Toulouse get their 5th try. And that's his 2nd try this season for the 27-year-old Argentine.
Well, it was a good scrum in the end. The space looks like it was always out there from Toulouse. They managed to thread this ball out under a little bit of pressure. That was what encouraged the Clermont defenders to look inwards. They thought Toulouse was under pressure at the back of the scrum. When they looked in, the ball made it out. There was a little bit of space, and Mallier taking advantage. The roller coaster of try scoring continues.
Didier Retier, of course, working for Clermont and watching his son Arthur Retier score tries, of course. And earlier in the game, as Mallier looks to try and nudge them ahead by 13 points once again.
Tough one, this one into the wind. Looks like he's allowing a long way right to left.
Didn't happen. Well, they gave that try away, but look what Mallier does. He uses Tozan beautifully, you know, with the you know, the swing move. It's, you know, the defenders get sucked in left, right, and centre. Oh, I don't believe it. This is just insane. Fangard trying to get the ball available. It's been picked up. Tozan has it in his hands, and it's still alive right in the very corner. This is madness. You talk about end-to-end action. Oh, there's a flag that's gone up, and it might be a line out for Clermont.
Well, I'd say Folau Fainga'a'a went very close to taking that ball over the line. What a great effort from Raka, getting up there off the kickoff, keeping the ball alive. Toulouse managed to steal it, and it's worked in Clermont's favour now because someone has stepped on the line. Here's the kick. Raka goes through just when you think maybe all the action's taken place over 70 minutes. Folau Fainga got hit in a big tackle but didn't slide into touch. The ball got turned over for Toulouse and they took it out.
Well, he did well to keep it in play, in fact. That's nicely taken and nicely placed. Good work here. Clermont at the back. Fangaz again in that very dangerous position, and he's protected. Look how many Clermont players are there. A big sharp drive, but no, Jeannot gets the ball out. The big boys take it forward. George Moala being one of them. Don't get your hands on that, it's illegal. Raka into the hands, and the boys taking it forward for Clermont. Charge again from Raka. Kramer's there. Kramer this time around the outside. The hands are trying to get the from Toulouse. Good work from Raka. He's still wriggling around about 2 meters out from the try line. Jeannot. Bibi Biziru still trying to stay on his hands. Joshua Brenner can't get anywhere near it. 8 minutes to go. This is just insanely seesaw-esque, and the ball's been knocked forward. Clermont lose possession in that hit. Frecciaria watches on, frustrated, and Toulouse will have a put-in the scrum close to their try line.
Well, he's tough and uncompromising, Marcos Kramer. He does have the tendency at times to cough up the ball if it's not just placed in his hands nicely. They did all the hard work, Clermont. Here's the last one, admittedly with 3 or 4 defenders lining him up. Very easy, again, probably to take your eyes off the ball and focus on the collision that's about to occur. They're still down the right end, Clermont. Just going to have to work hard again. Probably the defence on that line-out drive was what was crucial there for Toulouse, because Clermont got set very well. They got Fainga in the pocket of the maul. He was in control, but they couldn't get any forward momentum. He was looking both sides to see where he could peel off and get a bit of a mismatch on a smaller player, maybe drive over again, but he didn't get that opportunity. Good defence from Toulouse.
Paul Coste there. His father, a former French international, Arnaud. And then his grandfather we saw up in the stands earlier, Gérard. 3 generations of French international, of professional rugby players in France. But Paul Coste, I think his future is pretty much set to glide into the blue shirts. Whether it's under Fabien Galtier or not, we'll have to wait and see. France beating Scotland away, losing to Ireland in Marseille, and then drawing against Italy today up in Villeneuve-d'Ascq, Lille. Retier is the number 9 here, and that's a penalty for Toulouse. They rumbled that scrum. And some celebrations taking place there. And the likes of Kramer getting caught up and snagged.
Richie Arnold's been on the field, what, a matter of seconds, and straight in the middle of things.
It's not the he does grappling. He gets caught up with, especially with some of the Argentinians. It's not the first time, and Kramer loves a little bit of well, he reacts, doesn't he?
That's a mismatch if it was those two. He's identifying as a reach advantage for Arnold.
No, they're the two captains.
Arnold now captain.
Well, because he came on for the who was captain before. He's off anyway.
He's got Clermont. Referee's got Clermont for angling in there on the loose head side, the side that was closest to the camera. Bit of a relief for Toulouse, an easy exit.
There is She Hawks, the 21-year-olds. Oh, it's won by Clermont. And now a good situation. They've got a good attacking position here. He gets the ball out. That's a beautiful pass. Delgui in the corner. Surely no one's going to stop him. No one stops him. That's his second try tonight. And the Argentinian winger absolutely on fire. But that pass to him glided sumptuously into his path. Afterwards, it's all about getting those pistons going.
Here's two fantastic passes here in the Clermont backline. The first one was that one there. Fantastic. Went backwards. Here's the NFL one. Went about a mile forward. 3 pairs of eyes, maybe 4 pairs of eyes if you count the TMO, oblivious. But in the end, it matters not. A popular try in front of the home crowd for Clermont. They stay in this game. Race back to halfway. 4.5 minutes to go. 4 minutes, maybe 3.5 by the time Toulouse gets up to the 50 to take the kickoff.
It's a very important kick here for Jules Plisson.
Made it.
Oh, look at that. The Willy Wonka of all kicks. He knew what he was doing.
Wow. Yes, it worked out well. He's lucky he got it with the right part of his ankle.
You know, he's actually, he can be a very good kicker, Jules Plisson. Let's give him a lot of credit because,
he hit that last one beautifully.
Yeah, so let's just...
And he does have a wind that he was allowing for too. You'd have to say it was the wind that caused that deviation in the ball's flight, not the fact that came off his shin.
Okay, I'll just we'll put a lid on this now and move forward as someone who knows a little bit about kicking. 4 minutes to go, everything to play for. Oh, spillage to go backwards. That didn't. This is just calamity. Yato coming on for Kramer. These are the moments that have just come and ruined Clermont's chances of potentially an emphatic comeback to beat Toulouse in their own backyard, having played literally 70 minutes with 1 player less. That is just, it's so frustrating for a coach.
Well, after what we've seen tonight though, Robbie, are you counting them impossible to jag an intercept or something? There's got to be another twist in this game after everything that has occurred tonight. Surely that's not the end of the drama. Few too often that they've done that tonight, Clermont. Unforced errors. They've stayed in the game with tenacity and with heart.
Yeah, but now they can probably say that they should have won it, because if they give another try away and they don't get possession and do something, then I think that, you know, they can honestly say that it's done and dusted. This is a bonus point loss for Clermont if it stays like this. But otherwise, there's 4 points for Toulouse. They'll take a lot from this. It'll be another victory for Toulouse, and they'll just stay locked at 50 points with Stade Francais going into round 17.
Well, their natural tendency is to keep playing, so it'd be interesting to see if they do try to shut this down and just run out the clock for another just on 2 minutes, just over. If they keep playing, then who would bet against Raka with an intercept or something happening?
It's a penalty for Clermont, of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, you know, we were just talking about it, right? Well, I mean, he has just been outstanding, isn't he? Fangard, there's the kick. Needs to go out of play. Oh, there's a good kick as well from Plisson. Look where they are. Inching closer towards that 22. And on comes Cillian Puzel, another youngster who is looking to try and make his mark. 21 years of age. Played for Avenir Montségué and Valenciennes and Agen.
First things first here for Clermont. They've got to win their ball. They've conceded a few too many off their own throw tonight, and I'm sure Richie Arnold's targeting it.
Oh, and he's done a job. He's done the perfect job. Needs to be picked up. Retier, they need to try, and if they can rumble him and get the ball, counter ruck and galore taking place here, but Retier makes it safe. A minute and a half just to hold on. Well, we know what's going to happen here. Will they kick it? Will they get rid of it? Or will they go through the phases, mates?
Looks like he's setting up for a kick.
Oh, he's gone for it, isn't he? That's not a great kick, is it?
No, they probably could have done with it a couple more phases, Toulouse, just soaking up the time. It always makes me wonder, when you're on defence and you need to get the ball back, why do you actually go up and make the tackle? Here's the line out that Clermont again has failed to secure, just a few too many times as well tonight. But you're better to let a player just run through you, tackle him and try and steal the ball. Anyway, they win it this time.
It's better this time. Clermont in possession. It goes down. No hands on the ruck. 3 points won't help Clermont. They've got to get a try. They've still got to play less, of course. Bibi Bizero. You want players to support everybody who carries the ball forward. Joel Plisson, good running line there from Delguy, looking for try number 3. Illegal hands. Oh, it's been flipped back somehow by Jeannot. That's the heroic manoeuvre. They've got to release they've got a penalty. They've got a penalty. You've got to use this. Clermont with a good chance to attack. What options have they got? Get past your man, wait for Raka. It's not going to happen there, Rosier. Well, surely we're going to go back to the penalty. We've gone past the 80-minute mark.
Yeah, that's probably a roll of the dice time, wasn't it? An absolute all or nothing, a little kick through or something like that to try and score the try. They knew they could come back for the penalty. Just shoveling the ball wide wasn't going to cut it against this Toulouse defence.
They'll
probably try and put this 5 metres out, though, from the goal line. And who would bet against Folau Fainga'a getting in the driving seat again? Going over for his, if they made touch, they did. It's 5 metres out. They've got the minimum.
This is a tense finale, the way that we love it, the Clermont fans. But they've got to win this first. And Richie Arnold with those tentacles, honestly, I mean, you know, you just don't want to come up against it. Go short, do something, just get it yours, make it yours. Fainga'a. Oh, it's been stolen, look at that. And it's been kicked out, and that's the end of it. Toulouse have got the victory. And again, it's just all about the line out, and the Toulouse forwards doing the business there and getting in the way. How about that, Toulouse? They make it 7 straight wins on the trot. Hugo Mola and his men jumping with joy. Their 5th straight success in the top 14. And with those points there, they move level with Stade Francais once again. But what a thriller we've had at Stade Marcel Michelin. The regrets, well, it's going to be from the Yellow Army of Clermont, because they had a couple of great scoring opportunities to take this. But the final score here in the Auvergne, Clermont 33, Toulouse 37.
Yes, and this was just the end of the game. Another win from the Toulouse line out. The ball bobbling around. Finally, Toulouse controlled it to see out the match. The combination between Simmons and Folau Fainga'a honed at international level. You might have expected that to come through a little bit more tonight, but it could have also made that line out predictable from Clermont. So Toulouse was able to target that. They probably knew where the ball was going to go more often than not, and they got it and won enough against the throw to see out that match. Probably a few too many mistakes from Clermont to expect to win tonight, but they've shown a lot of heart, a lot of courage, a lot of tenacity, and a lot of resilience to keep coming back at Toulouse. A lot of teams wouldn't have been able to do that. Down 15, down 20 points. Just not quite enough in the end for the home team.
Well, Toulouse run away with the win, run away with an important win. And I think they're underlined, you know, their intentions in a big way with a team that is just missing, you know, all of their quality, all of their A-listers, if you like. That's why they're all smiles, because, you know, you come in, you've got players like Gorg, who's 18 years of age. You've got Puzel, who got brought in to the fold, of course, and then you've got Castro Ferreri, scored 2 tries tonight, and Leo Banos, with only playing his 9th game for Toulouse, the former Mont-de-Marsan players. Paul Coste, who had an accident. This is a team that's just packed full of youngsters, and a lot of them without the experience. But once you've got that Toulouse DNA inside of you, you know, you just turn into, you know, this Marvel comic hero. That's a brilliant performance from Toulouse. A little bit of luck on their side, and we'll get the reaction from this man here, Jules Plisson, who knows that, well, that was not an easy encounter, but they probably rue their missed opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the relief that we see from Toulouse and the joy we see from those young players is that they haven't let down what they see as such a strong legacy. It is a strong legacy at Toulouse. They don't want to be the guys, the next wave of players who let those standards drop. So to come here at a very difficult venue to play at, a difficult team to play against on their home track, that's something of an achievement. Tough for Clermont tonight. They were down to at least 14 men for 7/8 of the match, then down to 13 for a 10-minute period as well. They stuck in there. They didn't do enough to win, but they really stuck at it and gave Toulouse something of a fright. So the relief is really tangible there from the Toulouse players.
Un match quasiment en intégralité en infériorité numérique, mais pourtant vous étiez vraiment très proche. Vous pouvez avoir des regrets, j'imagine.
Bah ouais, des regrets parce que
Yeah, we've got regrets because we gave ourselves the opportunity to win it at the end. Yeah, even if you missed loads of key players for Toulouse, they're still a seriously strong team. Yeah, the final scoreline is logical, you know, just going on the contents of the game tonight and having lost a player with a red card.
C'est quoi, mentalement, vous avez su rebasculer?
Mentalement, oui, parce que ceux qui sont derrière au score, il faut essayer d'envoyer le jeu.
Yeah, we need to, you know, mentally just come back and every time we tried to come back and we really worked hard to get ourselves into a good position. We had lots of opportunities to win this and to score. And it's, you know, we walk away with the loss, unfortunately. We won't get a Toulousain for a couple of moments because, you know, it's all about getting together for this special moment, of course. And all smiles for Toulouse because they brandished a little bit of their bulwark, their artillery tonight, and flexed their muscles. And the youngsters have come in and said, you know, I feel part of this team. They're looking good, aren't they?
Well, they've got through a game that they wouldn't always win. A team wouldn't always win here at Clermont. They've also now strung together 5 victories in a row since their last defeat away to La Rochelle. And to be doing that at this stage of the season when they've lost so many international players to various international teams is quite an achievement. They wouldn't expect at this time of the year to be sitting right up at the top of the table where they are, just a smidgen behind Stade Francais. So for them it's a bonus to come through this period and to string these victories together, and it's a great achievement at a place like Clermont.
C'était très important de faire un résultat aujourd'hui, on se l'est dit tout le long de la semaine. Personne, je pense, que croyait en nous, à part même pas le coach. Ça déconne. Mais bon, voilà, moi je suis fier du visage que vous avez montré, et ça c'est important pour la suite.
Rodrigue Nati saying, didn't even know the coach believed that we could win here tonight. So nice little words there from Rodrigue Nati, and we did it.
He's also saying this is important for what's to come, which it is. And these guys want to put themselves in a position where they're putting pressure on these vaunted internationals who are coming back.
Yeah.
And the only way they can do that is have results.
Yeah.
If they've got aspirations to knock off the top dogs out of the 23, then they've got to be performing, got to be getting wins for Toulouse.
Yeah, there is Labat who getting his little first chance to play for Toulouse, and you know, it's been pretty impressive, isn't it? You know, all of a sudden, you know, you have a player snatched out of your starting 15, you've got to bring a new guy in, and he's just thrown straight in, which you know, means that you've got to perform. And going to Clermont is no small game.
Absolutely not. And a lot of these guys will have played together in the Centre de Formation with the Espoirs grade, or even the Cabos at a younger level. And so for them, they'll be dreaming when they're playing in the Espoirs grade, they'll be dreaming of playing together in the top team. And now they've been able to do it tonight. They've got an away win, which is no mean feat in France, even for a team like Toulouse. So they'll be overjoyed.
Well, it's back to business. Toulouse.
Oui, Pierre-Louis, quel match, quel scénario.
And Pierre-Louis Barassi with his reaction.
Un scénario pareil.
On savait que si on mettait une grosse envie dès le départ, on allait pouvoir les faire douter.
Yeah, we knew that if we would put in a really
de
strong start, then we'd be able to possibly fight for win.
Ils allaient douter.
And we made them ask themselves questions by half-time, but you know, we had a little bit of help there from the red card.
Aussi très à l'aise. L'équipe a l'air très en confiance. Comment vous ressentez le groupe là?
En fait, on avait envie de faire une meilleure prestation défensive que la semaine dernière,
we wanted to put in a very good performance, a much stronger performance than the match last weekend. Because the defense wasn't great, so we wanted to be really strong in defense. And I think that the defense has helped us win tonight.
On avait un petit peu l'impression, vous avez envoyé beaucoup de jeux, que vous n'aviez rien à perdre. C'était un petit peu ça ou non? Voilà, c'était vraiment de la pression, mais bien maîtrisée.
Non, je pense qu'on a joué quand il a fallu.
Yeah, we played when we wanted to. Got the ball out of our half when we could, and especially in the first half.
On n'avait pas le mot-clé, on n'avait pas l'envie de jouer tout ce qui passait, on voulait faire un gros match.
We wanted to really just play a big game tonight, and the defence was fantastic out there today, which enabled us to construct and build and get the win. Pierre-Louis Barassi, what a wonderful player he is. He's just glides through defenders and offloading and passing, good running. Ball carrier. Clermont, look at that. We have had a few tries tonight, to say the least. Delguy with a brace, Arthur Retier with a brace, Castro Ferreira with a brace, and then Lavanini, Jonot, Fangar and Malia scoring the other tries. And then Udapayeta, Plisson, Malia scoring points. And then we've got a red card for Ujovan. Kramer going off at 54 minutes. So despite the fact that they went down to 13, they still managed to hold fort against a very strong-looking Toulouse team. And, well, look at the possession there for Clermont, 62, territory 68. Penalties, very level, knock-ons, few too many. I think they lost a few balls in the line-out, which was a bit of a problem for Clermont, Mitz.
Yes, I think so. I mean, you'd expect the territory, I guess, with the wind behind them in the second half. It went from about 54 to 68. But that's why, you know, on the right-hand side, Toulouse, you don't often see them only have 40-odd% possession or territory, and that's why Barassi said, you know, their defence, they'll count on that. Yes, they scored points, and yes, they conceded points tonight, but they could possibly have conceded more. So at crucial moments, they fronted up, whether it was a defensive line-out pilfering ball or whether it was their defence getting up and snuffing out a Clermont attack at the right times. They conceded a few tries, but they could have conceded more, and with a young group, I think they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to see, hopefully, the highlights now, and just to see exactly what happened in the second half. Well, Toulouse, look at this. This is just inspirational play as the ball comes out. Gioman looking for Cruz Malia right through the middle. And then all of a sudden, he's got a bit of support from Enu. The big boys arrive, the cavalry. Big ball carriers. That's a great piece of play, isn't it, from Matis Castro Ferreira, the 20-year-old. Clermont reacting then with some of their big boys moving forward. Good driving maul here, Mitz.
Yeah, absolutely. And within 10 minutes of the second half, we'd had as many tries as we saw in the entire first half, even though the first half was full of action. And here it was Falau Fainga'a kept control of that ball at the back of the Clermont maul, and finally having too much strength, too much aggression, too much acceleration to be denied. Got over the try line, and that really lifted the spirits of Clermont.
Yeah, and Clermont needed that. They just conceded a very quick try, didn't they, from Toulouse? But all of a sudden, a fumble at the back from Rosier, and they offered Toulouse a scrum. And then afterwards, it's just so simple from that distance, isn't it? And Juan Cruz Malia scoring his second try with an easy run-in.
Yeah, Retier was the key there. He didn't advance onto the ball. When he got the pass got threaded through to him from the back of the scrum, but he just stood and delivered. He didn't try to go forward with it. As he got the ball, nice soft hands. You'll see here, number 11, he gets the ball. He doesn't go forward, he just tips it on. And in the end, Malia just having the acceleration and running into the gap. Raka had two men to cover. He shouldn't have really been in that situation. It was a no-win for him.
Well, this is the ball that was pinched and got rid of at the very end. Merkler doing some good work there, and finally it's a win for Toulouse, and they win 37-33 on the road. And as you said, that's fifth straight win in the top 14, seventh straight win including Europe. Congratulations, Toulouse. Thank you very much. Andrew Mertens, see you next weekend. From me, Robbie Noack, we'll see you next weekend too. Clermont, unfortunately, unable to beat Toulouse tonight, 33-37, with Toulouse moving back level with Stade Francais at the top of the top 14, heading into round 17. Au revoir et bonne soirée.